going to find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only
up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
And I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately, isn't it? What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go? Werrell, don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin, Burma down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's just like trouble. He's touched on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's going to have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NicholsOilPros.com for the Tech's 60th birthday bash, sponsored by Tech Nichols, and we're at Nashville Superspeedway. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Bradley Dalton here this evening as well. Well, what can we tell you about Nashville? Well, what do you want to know about Nashville? We are racing on the Tri-Oval, been up and running since 2001 to the present day. Surface is concrete. Ouch on the tyres. 2.14 kilometres, 1.33 miles. 4 turns, obviously. Banking turns at 14 degrees. Front stretch 9, back stretch 6. Ooh, that's going to be a come down from 14, I can tell you what. What have we got lined up for you here as well? 120 laps, fixed setups, 3 tyre changes, 1 fast repair, lucky dogs, and wave arounds are as well. Do not forgive the Brits for anything. How rude.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's not very nice, is it? Depends on on your next comment, with maybe putting LOL at the end on that one. But let's bring in Brad into the booth. Brad, welcome in. How are you?
Good evening, James. I'm pretty well. It's triple bypass. We're back here in the saddle running the things, and I have to tell you, I just love this league. I love this league, and I love when we get to, you know, show them off and show off the good racing they do and show off the competitive nature here. It's just, it makes things fun for me, so I'm doing pretty well on a Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, guys, as well, the triple bypass run 5 nights of... Actually, no, is it? Yeah, it's still 5 nights of racing, isn't it? 5 nights of racing as well on that one. I've just had a complete and utter brain moment there, Brad. Yeah, completely forgotten what the nights were. It's been a while since we've been here with triple bypass, to be blatantly honest. When was the last one? It was a while ago, wasn't it, on that one? So let's have a look on what have we got here lined up for you. Yeah, 5 nights racing. It is 5 nights. I thought it was. Sundays is next gen. Tuesdays late models. Wednesdays is the draft queens. Thursdays Xfinity. Friday road racing and street stock. 14 race seasons, championship trophies. Sessions open 8:15 ET, qualified 9 ET. Guaranteed heartbreaking racing. Head to triplebypassracing.com. Do not forget the web address on that one. Go and check them out. You can get yourself involved in some great action racing here as well. So that would be absolutely amazing. He's British. He's definitely allowed to say it. Say what? Exactly. Ugh, I don't know. It just seems a little bit dramatic and a little bit harsh, Howie, at this time in the morning, to be blatantly honest with you. Oh, that one. Brad, what do we think is going to happen? We're in qualifying at the moment. I never really care much for qualifying in NASCAR, to be honest, because, let's face it, it's generally pointless. And they can go from the back to the front. But what do we think is going to happen here?
I'm not putting a lot of money on qualifying here, as you said. And also, Howie, why are you in YouTube chat when you should be qualifying? Just side note there. But I do think with the nature of triple bypass, and we talk about this time after time after time, plenty of good hard racing will come up and will happen. Couple of cautions are quite possible, of course, with the car count on track. We've got a lot of names and a lot of faces that I don't recognize. So it's always good to see triple bypass growing through. So I'm going to say 2 cautions on the night at least. But, of course, the YouTube poll is up, and you can tell me your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think the problem is knowing how well these guys normally drive, I would go 1 to 4. My problem is the new people that are in the sessions that we haven't seen before. So it's whether or not they're going to, I want to say amalgamate or assimilate with the people in and around them. So it's going to be interesting to see what some of these guys can do. Obviously, I think it's the first one of the Xfinity we've actually covered this year. So we'll see how it goes on. I'm going to touch on 4, maybe 5. That's my philosophy. We will end up the poll at the end of qualifying, so get yourself in on that one. I'll do anything to not put off running qualifying laps here. Do not like Nashville. No, I think for the fact that it's titled the Nashville Superspeedway, it's not really a superspeedway as such.
It's not, but it drives a lot like it, which makes it, for me, makes it fun, because it does drive very much like a super speedway that you would think of. So it's a different style of track to get used to, and it feels, to me, when I drive it. It drives like a mini Daytona, sort of. And, you know, we already have tracks that are mini Daytonas, so you kind of step into that setup, but that is my opinion on it. I still think it's a lot of fun to drive, though. But we have qualifying over, so James, we'll pull up the grid here. Let you take us down the grid.
Yeah, Chad Bear will be on pole position. Brad Kress in second. Elton Wu in third. Mark Herzog fourth. Al Corey fifth. Rick Barbary in sixth. Mike Weeder seventh. Jess Slaughter eighth. Ben Harcum in ninth. Will Emmerich in 10th. Ward Fisher 11th. Brian Cooper down in 12th. Then we're looking at John Crutchley, James Durr, John Campbell, Will Jester, Matt Harmon, and Howie Burrows running at the top 18. Tex Nichols down in 19th was in YouTube chat saying, ugh, bad qualifying. Bill Petrov in 20th, Tyler Ruelas in 21st, Sean Bradley down in 22nd, and Cameron Kane, Michael Seymour, and Tyler Merritt at the back of the grid. So there we go. See how these get on this one. Howie, what are you trying to give us a history lesson for? It was a super speedway back in the day. There was nothing like it. Now it's a single groove race to the bottom where you slide around like you're on ice. It's not. I think our interpretations of super speedways are completely different, and I'll show you why when you get up and running and actually producing some laps, because I can guarantee that you're not running this at full flat. I doubt very much that you're able to get round 1 and 2 at full flat. On that one, I mean, probably recommend that you might be lifting a little bit to get the rotation through, or you could be dabbing a brake just to try and help you rotate the car, which will help you try and save tyres, of course, on it as well. I think at the end of the day, this is the thing. When you look at 2.5 mile circuits, the likes of Daytona, the likes of Dega, you know they're full flat, right? Vegas touching bet on full flat. You can go full flat around Vegas with a slight little lift coming through turn 3 and 4, and then you're back on it probably about 15 meters later after you've lifted, Brad. But this is the thing with the circuit. Mile 3, not really a super speedway. Can't run it full flat. Gonna have to lift in the turns. A little bit hit and miss for me.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I do think some of it is the nature of the cars with having to lift through that kind of I don't know. It's one of those that I think with ARCA cars, you could really call this a super speedway with no questions. And it's also been a while, though, since I've ran an ARCA car here. So if I'm wrong on the not having to lift in an ARCA car, someone correct me on that. But I think once you start getting into some of those bigger, beefier cars, more power, harder to run, you do have to lift and go through, but it does share some of the super speedway traits. Either way, it produces good racing. I don't care who you are. It produces really good racing as they go through. So as we come around 4, we get ready to go green here, James, and let's get this 120 laps underway.
Yeah, we're going to be going very, very shortly. Pace car will be heading into the pit lane. There it goes, taking its weird left turn. Chad Bear sitting on pole. Brad Kress sitting in second. Elton Wu, Mark Herzog, Rich Barbary, Corey Slaughter, Weeder. Ladies and gentlemen, Texas 60th birthday bash is up and running, and we are green here at Nashville. I want to be a super speedway, but I'm not really. Kicking off now. Chad Bear taking a whole shot for the Big Rage Boys Racing Team. Brad Kress tucked him right behind him as well. Elton Wu, Al Corey, Weeder, Herzog down 2 at the moment in time. I'm not really that worried about where they are currently, Brad, due to the fact that we've got a long race ahead of us.
That we do. 120 laps here around Nashville. It's going to go fairly quick, but it is a good little jaunt around here. So where you're at right now isn't gonna make or break your race. You want to be up in a good position early on, don't get me wrong, but you also want to keep your nose clean early on. Nobody remembers where you were at on lap 3. Everybody's gonna remember where you were at lap 120. It's all about that game of patience.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they got to do here. Be patient with the whole scenario. Ben Harcum's in there. JC has just gone through in his Krispy Kreme donut livery, coming over the line for lap number 3 here. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. What is Harkham going to do sitting down there currently at this moment in time? Barbary, Ward Fisher, Slaughter, Cooper, Emmett, all in the mix here. Ward Fisher in 84, red machine. Doing a great job on that inside line. Whereas Burrows down in 17th, him and James Durr just next to each other currently, as they've just cleared on the way through on that one. It's going to be very, very, how can I put it on this one, Brad? I think this race could be a bit of a tyre race. Concrete surface as well. Never ideal for tyres on these cars.
Yeah, that is one of the tougher parts of Nashville, I think, that makes it interesting, is that it can be a tire-dependent circuit. With the concrete track, with the layout, with the higher speeds, and you get some pretty high G-loads here in the corners that can really wear out that right front as you try to go through. And I do think some of these drivers are going to try to conserve Mark Herzog here, losing a bit of touch to the top 5, including Al Corey there. I do think that is going to play out, and he's going to be saving some tire early on, and it might prove to benefit him near the end. But at the moment, the top 5 running through here, and, well, we're starting to get a mix-up. Look at Elton Wu here trying to get a pass on Brad Kress.
Yeah, Elton in the number 5 machine there, trying to make a move past Brad Kress. He's currently sitting in 2nd place. Weeder is in behind him. And then we've got Chad Bear, Brad Kress, Al Corey, and Mark Herzog there. Al in the famous 45, what is he in? 45 machine, I should say. I'm not so much Canadian there for Al Corey, now in Dallas. So on that one. But these front 5 kind of making a breakaway at this moment in time. And there's been Tex Nichols has been around, unfortunately for Tex. No cautions currently at the moment. So Tex managing to stay well out of the way and avoid any yellow, which is always important. As you say, very liney, single line through. They're a little bit scattered further back, but at the moment, Chad Bear absolutely nailing this.
Yeah, Chad Bear is very, very smooth here with Wu and Weeda. A little bit further back here, as you mentioned, Matt Harmon trying to go around here with Will Jester and Ben Harkham, and then you've got Naj and Cooper that are also mixing things up. This mid-pack is really where we're kind of seeing the 2x2 action go through, and we'll give these guys a second to come around here out, and then we will go back and check out what happened to Tex Nichols on his 60th birthday bash. Is Tex Nichols actually 60?
I'm going to presume so, otherwise why would it be a 60th birthday bash?
I mean, you never know. They could make a joke about age or something. It could be that he's 30 and they're just doubling it for fun. I don't know, but this is what happened to Tex Nichols here.
Oh!
Ooh!
Ouch! Tyler Orellas. It's about putting somebody in the wall there, son. You definitely did that. So Tyler Orellas may have a little bit to account for, and that was just basically carried more speed and then absolutely bumped him there from behind, unfortunately, for Tex Nichols. So there we go. Stay tuned as we continue on this action right about now. And you can see Barbary in that 04 machine on the outside line with Matt Harmon, Will Jester in the mix in the 74, Ben Harkham there as well. Some of the big hitters, Brad, sitting in the middle. You expect Harkham, Crutchley, Harmon, Cooper, Slaughter, a little bit further up.
Yeah, I was really thinking that things were going to be mixed up, but I didn't expect things to be this mixed up here early on. But, you know, as we've said, this is a pretty long race to go through here. Elton Wu and Mike Weeder running side by side, and I don't think the high line is really what you want to run traditionally here around Nashville, but tell you what, the high line is working out for some people, especially Elton Wu here, who is defending that second place on that high line without too much of a problem. But now Chad Bear, I think, is going to start feeling the pressure here. Lap 12 of 120, and right there on the back. Chad's having to run up high and then drop down low to try to defend through the corners, and here we go. We might have a new leader of the exit.
Yeah. Mike Weeder's going to go through over Chad Bear and Brad Kress We're in now. Al Corey, Mark Herzog mixing it up, all in this front part pack, being chased down by Mark Herzog in that 57 machine. So we'll keep an eye and see whether or not Herzog can get on the back. Is he going to bring Ward Fisher with him as these guys continue to go at the moment? Lap 13 of 120. So it's still a long way to go in this race. Tire wear, Brad, what do we think?
It's definitely starting to show here, and the reason I say that is look where Herzog is now. As you mentioned, he's catching up, and I think Herzog was doing a little bit of saving on the tires early on, and now it's starting to bring him back into touch with this top 5. We're going to turn this into a 6-car battle, possibly a 7-car battle by the time it goes, so we'll have to keep our eyes on what Herzog can run if he saved enough tires to really make a difference. But further back too, looking at some of these different cars, as these guys are battling, especially when you get back here to the likes of Ben Harkham, Howie Burrows in the mix, Will Jester in the mix, and you get them kind of going side by side and battling, and they've been doing this for 15 laps now without a break. Their tires, that right front especially, is just going to be screaming, and it's going to give some of these guys here near the back of this top 20 a little bit more of a run to look for a move if they can make something stick. And that is the other problem, is if you can make something stick. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's very difficult. I think with this circuit itself, you need to look at the lines that's going to be rubbing in. I think at the moment the marbles are going to be sort of mid racetrack. They really want to get them out high if they can. Try and utilize the banking up on the outside. Try and run it round on that. We'll give you the little speed dashboard down in the corner in a minute and show you how fast they're roughly going, and then we got to look at what they're doing within that corner aspect. I think that's going to be the thing for me, is are they going to be looking at dragging it round? No, there's a big old lift there.
Yeah, that's a huge lift here on board with Al, and we'll get the speed up here for Al while we ride with him for a moment. He's sitting nice and steady here in 5th place. He hasn't really tried anything crazy. He's just riding around with these guys right now, and I think just he wants to be in the mix at the end.
Yeah, I think so as well. And that's one of the reasons I cannot sit here and justify Nashville as a super speedway. You're not full flat running. There's the lift off all the way down. You're 130, 129. Times are coming down. Best time for Corey at the moment, 30.7. Last time out, 31.5. It just goes to show how much pace they are losing. Mooka, no. Tyler dumped Tex on. I told you he just dumped him. I did say he dumped him, Mookie. I wasn't playing games or anything here. I did literally physically say he dumped him, as we look back at Chad Bear from the Big Ridge Boys racing team, who's got his teammate in behind him. Brett Alton Woo has dropped back down to 4th now after being up at the front near enough as well. So Elton dropping down, I'd say down to 4th. He's not too far off the front here, Brad, either. So I think it's not done yet, but I think if a caution comes out, it's going to bring them right up together.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as these top 6 continue through, look at Herzog. Herzog looks like he's starting to get a little feisty here going through, and I'm thinking Herzog might start to make a move. The big thing I'm worried about is that pack back around E14 or so with Ben Harkham that we keep seeing. These are the ones that I think if something comes out and there's going to be something that causes a caution, it's going to be these guys, because they have not stopped the side-by-side hard racing since we went green. We're now 20 laps in, tires start wearing out, things start getting a little slidey here, and that is where I think if something's going to come up, it'll be them. And I'm still really shocked that it didn't happen for Tex. I really am surprised that didn't bring out a caution.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked on that one. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you want to head up to Nashville, or you're in the Nashville area this weekend, they've got their Slush Motorsports Festival on the 12th of October, so this Saturday, hosting the annual event at Nashville Superspeedway. The day will feature our massive car show, drifting, autocross, hot laps, drag racing, roll racing, burnouts and two-step competitions, plus drift cars from Big Kid Energy, sim racing demos with Podium 1, and an RC drift track with Music City RC. If you want to get yourselves involved, tickets are on sale now. General admission, $48.30. Not quite sure what the 30 cents is for, but you can get yourself involved in that one. So if you're up anywhere near Nashville, go and check it out. If you want the VIP pass, you can pay $264.23. Sounds like a good day, to be fair.
Honestly, it does. I might make the what's that, about 3.5 hour drive for me? I make the drive out there and spend the Saturday. It wouldn't be bad at all. Sounds like a lot of fun, honestly, and it does really sound worth it. So if anyone's closer to Nashville than me and you have the Saturday off, I'd do it.
Yeah, I'd go and head up there as well. Day of drag racing, that'd be absolutely amazing for me. Is Barbary going to try that top line yet? That top line looks like it's almost rubbered in. 24 laps down, he should be able to use the top banking coming into turn 1 and start running around that outside line. He should lift and then mid-throttle in the corner, and he should come out of that corner like an absolute rocket, and he didn't. The only thing he rocketed into was the wall, unfortunately, for Barbary on that one. Will Emmer is going to go underneath him. Oh, nope. Dude, Emma didn't lift enough there. I think that was using Jester as a little bit of a brake on that one. Unfortunately, in that 74 machine.
Yeah, just a little bit of a nice tap there going into Jester, kind of just saying, hey, there's Jester with a little bit of a tap on Petrov.
Very,
Mid-pack.
very interesting the way that they are tapping each other. Nodge is sat there at the back as well. Brian Cooper's back there. Oh, Coops. Obviously, if you haven't watched the Draft Queens commentary, you should go and watch it. He is absolutely hilarious. I do spend my time after on a Thursday watching Coops broadcast from the Draft Queens. It creases me up every single time I watch it. Of course, the series that I was supposed to be taking part in, Brad, until I thought it was on a Thursday, and then it turns out on a Wednesday, and unfortunately I was broadcasting and commentating, so I was not able to make it on that one. But yeah, it's been an interesting week at Vegas, if anybody's driven Vegas this week in the trucks, of course. Very, very interesting indeed. So yeah, if you want to get yourselves out and go and have a look at the trucks in iRacing, go and pick up one of the trucks and take it for a spin around Vegas. I will say one thing: lift in the corners. Chad Bear out front, he has got Crest crawling all over him at the moment as we're on the nose of Brian Coops himself here. And that is John the Nodge Crutchley right in front of us. 28 laps, no pit stops at the moment, no cautions. Somebody's begging for a pit stop at this moment in time because their tyres are going to be burnt up like crazy.
Absolutely, and I've been watching Cooper and Naj here trying to pick their way around this 057 of Petrov and around Jester. They've been very patient. Very, very patient, and now the door's been opened up on the high line. I do want to check back in on the front, though. Crest and Bear here have filed in 1-2, but Herzog has worked his way up into third place. We talked about that tire conservation a little bit that I thought Mark Herzog was doing, and it looks like it's played off, or Mark Herzog is just very good in the long run, and he's just hoping this thing stays green. It's all an option here. I would say pit stops probably aren't too far away for some of these guys, especially depending on how their tires are feeling. I would say we're not too far away. And as soon as I said these two were side by side, and now we go through, and Brad Crest's new leader, Chad Bear, says, you know what, I'll take second place right now. That's fine.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, it's so early on. It's such early days here that you're never going to really worry about where the drivers are. It doesn't matter where they are on lap 30, 50, 80, or 100. It's where they are on 119 going over the line for 120. I think that's where it's going to lie here, Brian. And I think that's one of the things that really I'm not that overly worried about at the moment where they are. They just need to make sure that they can able to get to the end.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that these guys are really focused on is that long run. It's something we see Triple Bypass do really well that a lot of other leagues we tend to see the drivers get very focused on where they're at for that lap. Triple Bypass, all of these drivers do an extremely good job of remembering that this is a race and there is a little bit of, endurance to it. It's not so much you've got to be here on lap 33, and I think part of that is because they don't run a stage here in Triple Bypass, which I don't know your opinion on the stage breaks, James. I'm very happy to just see this race run green and run through, and it tends to produce moments like this where we have guys going side by side, but nobody's doing anything crazy because they're not worried about stage points or anything ridiculous here in 5 laps. They're running through. They know they've got to get to lap 120. We're only a quarter of the way through this race, and they are going to just keep this car moving.
Yeah, I think for me, it kind of takes you back in the old where it was just a straight sprint to the end of the race, right? And Weeder is just about to go under the 160 of Tyler Ruelas, who was involved in his own little ta-ta-ta earlier on, should we say, as he went and ran over poor old Tex Nichols, who's celebrating his 60th birthday, and Tyler went and ran him over. So unfortunately, as I said, no cautions here as well. But I'd prefer them to go long. The only thing with stage breaks, I think one of the reasons they brought them in is because obviously they wanted to mix up the championship a little bit, and there was a whole long story involved with it. But I think at the end of the day, the one of the things that has made it acceptable to have stage breaks is the fact that, let's face it, if you're watching on where are you, ESPN or Fox or ABC or not ABC, who is it?
NBC.
NBC. Basically, the commentators use them stage breaks to almost go for a break. They've got to put the adverts in somewhere. They've got to put the funding in somewhere. The money talks, and, stage breaks are one of the ways for them to get the money in.
Yeah, that's also a valid point. And they do that in other sports, too, fun fact. For those of you who might be college football fans, when you get into some of the bigger series like the SEC and the Big Ten, that their races or their football games are televised, there are TV timeouts where they just call like a 2-minute, 3-minute timeout so that way they can run adverts. It's interesting when you go to a game in real life and you're kind of like, why is everyone standing around? Why aren't we playing? And then you remember, oh, they're running advertisements right now on TV. Okay, that makes sense. I like it, and I think I would be more okay with that if that's where a majority of the advertisements came. The issue is you have things like NASCAR on Fox where every third lap of the Daytona 500, they're running 2 laps of, side-by-side advertisement, or just going to full screen advertisements for 2 or 3 laps. You come back and they're like, oh, there was a wreck. Here's a quick replay. We're going back because we're under caution now. So I get it. I'm not saying it's my favorite thing, though.
No, I think that's one of the things that basically, people love or hate, right? And that was it, isn't it? Let's be real about it. It's just one of them things on here. Whether or not you love stage breaks, let us know in the YouTube description below or down in the comments if you are watching it back here. Rick Barbary in the 04, James Durr in front in the 05. And then we've got the 88 of Mr. Slaughter in behind these guys as well. Lap 39 of 120. I don't think the tyres are going to be going much longer. They're going to be looking at surely changing currently at the moment. They're doing nearly 2 seconds off their best lap. Some are just still in that 1.3, 1.5 second mark. 30.6 for Brad Kress, best time last time 32.06, so nearly a whole second and a half slower than what they were doing before. And I think the problem is they're waiting for that caution, and some of these could end up going midway before they even think about changing tires because of the situation with the fact that they might not get a caution.
you're always planning in your head for the best case scenario, and best case scenario for some of these guys is a caution right now. Here's the thing, James, you and me have commentated triple bypass for a hot minute here. You and me both know that with triple bypass, these races can go full green, full tilt, not a single caution to be found. So I think if you're banking on that caution, you're in the wrong place right now. That is the problem. I think if you're gonna run a few more laps, that's fine. But look at these lap times. We're nearing the mid 32s for some of these drivers. That is a significant decrease in pace, and you're getting people more side by side here. Like you have JC John Campbell going up the inside of the 057 of Petrov, and then you jump up here and you've got Naj going around Seymour in the 87. So I mean, there's plenty of drivers trying to push through. I think they just want to avoid having that chaos of a green flag pit stop. And the thing is, once green flag pit stops start, you're really just throwing it up to chance on if a caution comes out, because you and me both know, James, green flag pit stops are probably the most difficult thing that you can do in stock car racing.
Yeah, and what you don't want to do is going in on your own. You can find a mate or a buddy or a friend to go in with. Not that draft's playing a massive part here, but you still really do not want to be going in to that pit lane all on your own if you can help it. Take someone anywhere to go in with you, and you jump in and then try and come out. Obviously, again, it's not like Daytona, maybe Charlotte in there as well, and Vegas as such you could probably get away with, but it's just, you just want to make sure you're not kind of left out there on your own, and I think that's one of the things that these guys are going to have to think about. They've gone almost 50 laps on concrete on the same set of tires they started the race on.
Yeah, which
can't be much longer.
Yeah, I think 50 laps really has to be your limit with this, and it's unfortunate to see, because what I don't want to see, and this is the thing that I worry about, I don't want to see these guys start green flag pit stops and then a caution come out for something and it just completely throw everything to the wind, and everyone who made the green flag stop is then sitting 2 or 3 laps down and just completely their race is gone. And we look at the weather here, 73 degrees, 85-degree track temp. It's not too hot, but it is still concrete. It's abrasive. It's wearing those tires. And I've got to say, in the next 4 to 5 laps, if I don't see cars start coming in, I'm going to be very shocked.
Yeah, I think so. I think some of the back end, it wouldn't have been worth, it would have been worth them taking a chance. Jester's got in on lap 33. Ruelas went in on 35. Obviously, Nichols went in at 6 after his jaunt into the front end of Ruelas' car. So he's gone in early. But I think it isn't going to hurt 13, 14, 15, 16 down if they go into that pit lane. As we've got Barbary trying that high line at the moment. That's James Durr underneath us. Not really rubbing it enough to give him the grip he's going to need. The marbles are sort of coming out, but they're not quite out high enough here as these guys go whistling past us once more. Absolutely stellar job from Ricky Barbary there. Howie Burrows about a second back at the moment. Just might see him pop into your screen. There he is. There, and currently a second back away from these group current lap times for Howie. Well, we're sitting in mid-pack. We're doing about 1.3 seconds slower than our best time. So it can't be, it really can't be much longer, I would have thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think one of the things, too, that I'm looking at with it is if they go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off here in this mid to back pack, go ahead, rip the Band-Aid off, make the pit stop, and then use that fresh tire, that extra 1.3 seconds of pace you're going to get, and just absolutely rip the car around. You could make a good move happen here. You could find yourself some extra positions. as opposed to what they're doing now, which is kind of just playing a game of follow the leader and, you know, back and forth with the people around them. They're not making progress forward. If anything, they're just falling backwards right now.
Yeah, it's very, very liney. Don Brown, hi, he says. Hi, Don. How are you this evening? Or this morning, depending where you are in the world, buddy. Let me know in YouTube chat. But welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us for the Texas 60th birthday bash. Xfinity's at Nashville Superspeedway. That's 1.3 miles rather than 2 or 2.5 miles there as well. Obviously, another big difference. Got a lift going into the corners. So there we go. Very interesting indeed. Brad Kress, Herzog, Bear breaking away from Weeder, Elton Wu at the same time, and Al Corey. So the front pack are kind of escaping at the moment. These three doing a little bit of a daring, dog in headlights, running as fast as they possibly can, getting away from the guys behind. So James Durr in here, that's the 04 in front of Barbary. Durr in the 05. Burrows slowly closing back up on him in that 98 machine, but not quite making an impression just yet. 3 sets of tires and we've not used any.
Guys just don't want to pull the, they don't want to pull the stop here on risk the green flag. And again, it's one of those that I think someone needs to just rip the Band-Aid off. I think once one car decides to go in, more people will follow. But we need that first car to make the stop.
Yeah, it's almost like who's going to be the first person to leave a party? Because then once that happens, everybody goes after. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I mean, if it was me at this point, I would have already ripped the Band-Aid off. I would have went and stopped. Especially with the pace continuing to roll back. It makes me wonder, like, what are they looking for? Are they looking for 2 seconds a lap slower than their starting times? What are we looking at here that's making anyone hesitate to stop?
It's the first person to blink, I suppose, would be the way I'd be looking at this currently at the moment. I know the leaders are very, very close together, but Kress, Herzog and Bear are probably not going to get into it here once again. But this mid-pack does in the middle. There's Barbary in front of us. Harmon's further up the road. Corey's in there, but he's 5.5 seconds up the road as well for Al Corey. As we look back from Matt Harmon's car to Ricky Barbary's got a 4-car train in and around him here. Honestly, Brad, I think they're waiting. I think they're just waiting for somebody to blink and go in. Other than that, I can't think of any reason why they would be waiting.
I think it's, yeah. Or they're looking for half race. No, there we go. Al Corey, thank you for ripping the Band-Aid off. Al Corey's in the pits. Harmon's in the pits now as well. So somebody decided to rip the Band-Aid off. And wouldn't you know, it's our king of strategy here in Triple Bypass. Al Corey, he tends to always have very good strategy calls that put him in a good position. And Chad Baird right behind him.
Yeah, Bear coming in as well from 5th. Ward Fisher's just made a horrible error getting into the pit lane. He's spun it up, kind of got it stopped and brought it down. Unfortunately, we'll see if we can have a look back at Ward Fisher's pit entry. There he is, the man there himself in the number 84 machine. He has just wasted a lot of time, partly because he completely missed it and then decided, actually, yeah, I'm going to go on. And at that moment, Brad, to be honest, he might have been better going round.
He might have. I think the big problem is he locked that right front, and he was so committed to getting the car in that I don't know that he thought about going around, but he probably would have been better off to just go ahead and floor it, take it another lap around. When you're that off, you know, it becomes a little bit of not just a game of getting the car in the pit. It becomes a bit of a mental game too. You make a big error like that, and then you have to bring it through the pits. You got to be careful to not speed, and these cars don't have fancy press a button, have a pit limiter like other series do. So you got to be really careful there. And if you make an error like that, it can just kind of snowball into a series of errors.
Yeah, I think the thing is I'm pretty I can't think which way round it is. I know the trucks have got pit lane limiters in officials. I can't think if the Xfinity has, or if it's the Cup car that has. I can't remember which way round. I'm sure one of them has and one of them hasn't. On that one, if anybody does know in YouTube chat, let us know. We've had an influx that's put Richie Barbary at the top of the table, the man himself in the 04. Then James Durr there. Al Corey's just about to come around and unlap himself, and the number 6 car is doing the same thing. That's Mike Weeder. I think for me at that moment I get lapped or unlapped by people that are supposed to be behind me. I think at that point I would dive into the pit lane as well.
Yeah, and that's all drivers that have made their pit stops and gone through. Elton Wu's through. Cameron Kane is just now coming out of the pits. Tyler Rulli Ellis is still running. He pitted on lap 35, though. Something a little bit different, but we're seeing a lot of guys in. Here's Howie Burrows coming through. Here is Will Jester around. Ben Harcum is now leaving his pit box. Ricky Barbary is on the way in. And, yeah, I mean, as you said, James, this is once you're mid-pack, when you know you're rotating to the front because all the fast guys have pit, that's your call to go ahead and go on in, and it looks like they're doing that. A few drivers still left haven't pit. Everyone you see from P6 up has not pit, so at the moment, your battle for the lead is Chad Baer here ahead of Brad Kress and Mark Herzog. Wow, Mark Herzog. In third place, not that far behind.
Yeah, Slaughter, Emmett, Crutchley, Seymour, Cooper, and Campbell are the non-pitters. Saying, as I said, Campbell's name, he's just dived in to the pit lane for JC on lap 62, over halfway now. We've got another 58. 58 to go. Before we break into the final lap of the race. We've been predicted at the moment. Chad Baer is going to be the man leading on once the pit stop cycles have run. He's passed Michael Seymour now. JC came out in 19th place. Quite far down for JC.
It is. It's quite far down for Mr. Krispy Kreme. He is, though, one lap down. It looks like everyone from about P12 back is going to be one lap down. And as we go through here, Chad Baer just nice and steady on the pace. We'll bring it around, and we made it half race distance before pit stop cycle started. I think guys will try to run to the end here. So if Herzog is any indication here, Mark Herzog did an amazing job through the first half of the race, conserving tires and then putting pressure through. And I have a feeling that Mark Herzog will conserve the tires on that Supra to try to make it to the end. If he can get around this number 87, who's running through there's a big wreck.
Put him in the wall. Mark. That was Michael Seymour. Just went flying up, I believe, into the wall. We'll have a look back at that one very, very shortly. Seymour has dived into the pit lane, and we'll see if we can get that on a replay. But caution number 1, and it come out on lap 65.
And we're gonna have to
rewind it
back. Yeah, no, we don't like doing this, but so they start out here, and look at the 87. Look at Seymour drift up into Herzog.
Yeah, my worry on that is if when we go back, whether or not Seymour was trying to avoid the Haas.
I mean, he
didn't actually realize that Herzog was on the outside of him. So there you go. I think on that one, can you put me on Tex Nichols a minute? I just want to see where is Tex. He's still running around. So let's have a chat with the old birthday boy himself on this one. Tex's 60th birthday bash. Tex, how are you, buddy? Oh,
I'm doing all right.
good. Is it your birthday today?
Yeah, I'm 60 years old. My car number.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy. I hope you got something nice, did you?
No, I got a 11-hour day at work. We're in the zone that got flooded in western North Carolina. So I'm a utility worker, and we were working all week, 10-hour shifts or 11-hour shifts.
Yeah, my wife's been filling me in more than obviously I've been watching, and she's been keeping an eye on it because we've got family out that way as well. Tex, how you doing out here today? Obviously, you were involved with Tyler Morales right at the beginning. I'm not really going to defend it, Tex. He kind of ran you over.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might owe somebody one.
Yeah, I'm thinking you might need to do a little receipt on there as well. And if you could just do me a favour, if you do a receipt on Chris Kane for me, I've missed my opportunity. So if you wouldn't mind just, putting him up, that'd be great. Oh, and that one, Tex, how far do you expect to get, buddy?
I'm sorry, Spotter was talking to me. What would you say?
I said, how far do you expect to get up the order?
I don't know. It depends on what I get back on laps. I went 2 laps down, and I'm hoping to make that back up strategically if I can. I don't think I can do it by speed.
No, mate. Well, no worries. Listen, Tex, we'll pop you back. Have a good one, buddy, and catch up with you soon.
All right. Appreciate it.
There you go. That was obviously Tex Nichols from Nichols Oil Pro. Go and check them out on that one, NicholsOilPro.com, for all your AMS oil needs. Shipping to America. So go and check them out. On that one, lap 68 at 120, Brad. Are we going to see a caution breeds caution?
It is possible, and here is what I have just noticed and caught on to. And I'm going to bring this to your attention, James. Do you notice who is our leader right now?
Mike Weeder.
Elton Wu in second, Matt Harmon in third, Ricky Barbary in fourth, Will Emmett in fifth. We said Chad Bear should have been our leader after green flag cycles. And that caution came in the middle of green flag cycles. So the top 5 have caught a literal lifeline in this race, and we might have a good old hassle on our hands.
Yes. Could be very, very interesting to see what goes on now on this. Weeder leading the way. Wu, Barbary, Harmon, Bear, Emma, Cooper, Crest, Corey, Jester is your top 10. Running side by side currently, I believe they're coming into turn 3. There they are. It's just waiting for the last 4 on the back end to get caught up if they can. Hopefully they'll realise they've all checked up and just not rifle through them.
I think they'll be okay. Usually, once they send those lap cars around, they know to check it up around turn 3.
Here we go then, guys. Hold on to your hats. Barney, the flag bearer, going to be waving this time around into the Geico restart zone. You're going to be seeing the green flag drop. It will come up on the left-hand side. There we go. We are bolted and we are green, green, green. Weeder leads the way. Elton Wu sitting in second. Harmon, Barbary, Bear, Emmett, Cress. The question will be, how long can Bear and Cress stay where they are, or how long is it before they get up the front?
I think Harmon's going to be in a really good position here to try to put some pressure as we go around. Barbary there running that high line again, staying comfortable. Chad Bear needs to buckle it down and get it moving. That's going to be his goal right now, is to move forward here. We crossed one line over, and Harmon and Bear through there was a wreck in the background. We just barely missed. And oh, there is Howie Burrows involved in that one.
Yeah, I think Seymour may have been, and Campbell. Oh, ouch.
Well,
I think Burrows was coming up, though, I've got to be honest.
yeah, it doesn't look good for Burrows.
No, it definitely looked like he was on his way up.
Oh, yeah, that was a case of a spotter cleared him, and there was no room to be cleared.
Yeah, definitely not with a fast approaching car in behind him. So, yeah, unfortunately, that could look like a bit of a Howie Burrows situation on that one, as we're on lap 72. Second caution in now. Does it breed cautions, Brad? Do cautions really breed cautions?
It depends. See, that wasn't one right off the restart. Usually when I think of cautions breed cautions, I'm thinking of wrecks into turn one as soon as the green flag is waved by Mr. Barney here, who you can see is adamantly waving this caution flag right now.
Yep.
Barney has some strong arms. He's got to have some strong arms, because he is just, I mean, well, there we
Strongest
go.
arms. Yeah, he's got the strongest right arm in iRacing, hasn't he?
Absolutely. But yeah, with cautions breed cautions, I don't think of that as a caution breeds cautions. I think that's a case of just a driver trying to be cleared high and they weren't actually clear. I think of cautions breed cautions as we get the green flag and immediately we're wrecking again before we even hit turn one, or as we're going through turn one. I think we'll be okay. I think second caution is through. A little bit of jitters are gone now from, the first restart after over half race distance. I think we'll be okay from here.
Okay, lap 73 of 120. Let us know what you think in YouTube chat, and who, if you got any favourites, who you think is going to win, as well as we're on second caution in. That was Seymour. Unfortunately, he's been involved in both of them. Poor old Michael Seymour. Not having a good time at the moment, being involved in both of these cautions. That was a wicked shot of the track there as well. Pace car lights still flashing.
Funnily, it was actually the wrong thing I clicked, but I do like bringing this up because I've learned this recently about Nashville Speedway. They have a quote-unquote road course that you can run at Nashville Superspeedway. You look right here at the bottom left corner of your shot. It ducks in, comes around through, back on the backstretch, and then ducks back out here, exits onto the front tri-oval, and comes out. So I just learned about that recently when I was looking for racetracks near me to run. And yeah, that's just a fun little fact about Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, you can have a look, and you see some of them do have makeshift road circuits in them, and most of them do like a NASCAR day where you can go and pay and go up and drive a NASCAR around a circuit. Dega does it. I think Daytona do them. It's called the NASCAR Experience, and you go and get yourselves involved in that one. Obviously, if you've got a spare, I don't know, couple of $1,000s, which I think was the last price I looked at, you can go and drive a NASCAR, which seems well worth it for me, to be honest.
Honestly, I think it would be very worth it. They used to do it at Kentucky Speedway, which is only about an hour from me, for fairly cheap. And they called it the Rusty Wallace Experience, I believe. It may still be around, but I used to see advertisements for it all the time, and I haven't seen any in a while, so I'm not sure if they still run that or not, but that was the big one that was local to me, and honestly, it seems like a lot of fun. I know we talked about bringing you into Nashville, James, so you could run around this track. Did we ever get that to work out?
No. What we have said is possibly, though, with next year, there's a few of us looking to getting together to get for the last 3 of the NASCAR calendar. So it would be Dega, Martinsville, and Phoenix that we are planned on being out there for that period of time.
That would be really cool. If you make that work, let me know, James. I could do a Dega race back at the end of next year. That'd be a good experience.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you a shout and let you know on that one. But Weeder is in there. Elton Wu, Ricky Barbary, Chad Bear, Will Emmett. We're just about to go and up to the starting gantry of Barney waving. There he is. Yellow, green's up. Pace car's going to peel in. It has peeled in. You see the cars coming towards you. Watch the Geico restart zone on the right-hand side. The blue with the white right in is going to be just hitting that now. We're going to get a green drop. We have got the green drop. Weeder's on the run now. Barbary's there as well. Elton Wu in there. Chad Bear moving his way, sitting in 4th at the moment. Will Emmett sitting in 5th. Brad Crest down in 6th. Brian Cooper in there all at the same time. These guys are going to be fighting it out now. We're on lap 76 of 120. They have not got many to go whatsoever. Is it going to be Chad Bear coming through taking the victory, Brad?
I will be very surprised if Chad Bear can't get this car moving forward. Chad Bear has been very, very fast all night, and I have a feeling that will continue as we go down into turn 1 here. Chad Bear with a little bit of a gap. I think he's just taking a second to wind this car up and get things moving here. Weeda, Barbary, and Wuda, we know, have some pace as well. So we'll see what happens back in the back. Will Emmett with Will Jester going side by side here. This is going to be the battle for P7. And then further back, you can see on your screen, we've got a bit more action going through. Al Corey's in the mix as well. There's Harmon. There's a tap of the wall from Jester. And we will keep this through almost 3 wide.
Almost there. Herzog's almost 3 wide with Hartman. Emmett's just going to try and come underneath. I believe in that 28 machine. No, it's the 405. 28 was Matt Harmon. And now we've got Al Corey sitting in front of us here for Texas 60th birthday bash. The 405, Will Emmett trying to go around the outside of Nodge currently. JC's trying to follow him through. The croc of Chris Kane is in there. James Durr there as well. Ward Fisher tucked in at the back. We've got a couple of lap runners still out there. Howie Burrows is lapped. Ward Fisher's lapped. Bill Petrov is lapped. And Tex Nichols is still running. Is Tyler Ruelas? He is still running. And Michael Seymour. So the whole field still got 23 cars out on there. Sean Bradley not taken to the start. And neither did Tyler Merritt. So, yeah, keep an eye out for these guys and see how they get on as we're coming into the last 40.
Yeah, we're now 2/3 race distance here as we continue along here. JC John Campbell, Cameron Kane here, the Croc car, and, of course, Mr. Dorr here in the 05, who I briefly mixed up with Mr. Cooper. And they continue along and around here. They've been putting in some action. Howie Burrows is back there with Fisher. They're running side by side and continuing to fight. They're the first cars lap down, as you said, James, and they go through up in the front. Ricky Barbary, Mike Weeda, they're opening up a big old gap on the rest of the field here. But I don't think they're going to keep it. I think that's the thing.
Why?
Is tires. I think tires will come back in near this final 20 laps for sure. And I think Wu, Bear, and Kress and Cooper and Corey are probably saving a little bit of tires here. And as we get near the end, we'll start seeing the effects of that.
I think their lap times will end up coming back out again. Last time round, Weeder on a 30.9. There's only 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars in the 30s. Everybody else is up in 31. So, yeah, going to be very, very interested to see how long they're going to hold on for this one. We've seen them already. Some of these have gone 66, 67, 70 laps. Maybe on, no, 66 was the max, wasn't it? On tyres. So, in hindsight, Brad, we're not really expecting them to pit again.
I wouldn't expect them to pit again unless there's a caution within about 25 to go. Then I think everybody will dive in and take that final set of tires that they have there in the pits and go through, because you want that little bit of edge. And now, big wreck.
Ooh,
Herzog. Well, and he's straight in the garage for the night at least.
Yeah. He was coming up. The other one was coming down, unfortunately, for Will Jester. And they ended up kind of cemented together. And that, unfortunately, is going to put both of them out of the race there. And a couple of other people got caught up all at the same time. Will Emmett trying to avoid it into the 87. And that's two of them cars as well. Would you be looking at taking your pit stop here, Brad, do you think?
Possibly. I'm kind of... I think we're just at that point where it would be worth it, but I think also at the same time, it might be a little too early. It's very much a toss-up, and it depends on how you're feeling with the car right now. If you're not happy with the car, I'd go ahead and pit, and it looks like a majority of guys have decided to do that and get that fresh set of tires on so they can get that pace advantage. Harkham's in, Corey's in, Harmon's in, JC John Campbell in, Naj, Chad Bear, Brad Kress, James Dure, Howie Burrows. A lot of guys came in right there, but you also have everyone from Cameron Kane up, the top 7. They stayed out. They're gonna come. They're gonna come under pressure though with tires.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be in deep doo-doo. Yeah, because they're not gonna be able. They're just gonna literally get eaten up. I think that's the thing. They're gonna literally gonna get eaten up, and unfortunately, they could be in deep trouble. So for them guys, I think could be an interesting one.
If I'm one of these top 7, if I am very comfortable defending and running this car in a very defensive manner, I think I'm a little more confident right now, because it seems like this track has been kind of difficult to pass on today, which I don't remember Nashville being that way, but for some reason I feel like a lot of these guys have kind of just had like 2-car battles, and we haven't seen anyone really carving their way through the field. So if you're in that top 6, you're probably in a decent spot right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Even without tires.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think at the end of the day, they could be fine, to be there. If they can go as long as they did on their first stints, right? We'd have went 57 laps on his first one. And don't forget, we've had 3 cautions, well, 2 cautions since then on lap 66 and 84. He's clearly a tire whisperer, isn't he?
1,000% a tire whisperer. And that's one of those skills that when you learn it, it's very hard for it to go away, and it changes everything about how you race. So when you see guys that are very comfortable doing that tire whisperer setup and saving the tires to run, they're scary to race against, because they can come out of nowhere to win a race.
Yep. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. So, let's see. Weeder, Barbary, Wu, Cooper, 87. Now the question is, who's going to come out on top?
I don't have an answer, and I'm not a betting man, so I'm not putting money on this. I couldn't tell you. I think this is one of those that there's a very, very strong toss-up for who is going to be where. So if you have a favorite driver, cross your fingers, cross your toes, because they may win.
Yeah, here we go. Barney and the green flag.
Green, green, green.
Lap 87 at 120. Green, green, green again. Mike Weeder out front. Barbary alongside. Woo up there. Slaughter, Cooper, Bear. Cooper and Slaughter swapping places here. Jeff Slaughter in that 88 machine. Brian Cooper in the 96. Further back, we've got three wide. Chad Bear trying to make it go through as well. Rides that bottom line on lap 88. Cameron Kane in there, but he's got Harmon pressurizing him right at this moment here as well. Nodge is in the background. You see JC's there. Al Corey still sitting in there with a chance as well. How is this one going to pan out on lap 89 at 120?
Chad Bear has said, I am wasting no time. I have no patience for this. I've got fresh tires, and I have a dream to win this race. So Chad Bear sending it up the inside, brave to take it 3 wide, but has the car control to back it up here. Is already up into 3rd place. Al Corey here in 5th. I think you need to watch out for Al Corey as well. Look back with JC John Campbell. They're going 3 wide, a bit further back here as we go down into 1 and 2. We continue along here. They kind of figure things out. You've got that 057 of Mr. Bill Petrov that is looking to make a move here. Back up in the front, though. Chad Bear up the inside. This is for the lead. And, James, we've got a new leader, Chad Bear, lap 90 of 120, 30 laps to go.
Yeah, great job from Chad Bear there. Went all the way up through Weeder, Barbary, Corey, Woo after the restart. Absolutely flying. Is he going to be the man to beat? That's going to be the question. More worried about where the fact his teammate is. Brad Cress is running at the front with him, sitting in 8th at this moment in time. So there, Brad trying to get onto his teammate currently, as we've got Harmon and Mr. Cooper going side by side here. Ooh, steady, boys, steady on that outside line. Bit worried if Coop's going to be able to keep it against the wall while Harmon's running down low. Obviously, Harmon may want to be drifting out there. Unfortunately, it looks like Coop's going to lose that position to Mr. Cress. And Coop's down into 8th at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's Brian Cooper just driving smart, knowing, yeah, I'm running on weaker tires compared to the guys around me. They're a bit faster, so I need to be careful with what I'm doing. Petrov pulling off low here and just getting out of the pack, well out of the way here. Of course, Petrov is 1 lap down, dropping back 18th. There goes Tex around. There goes the 405 of Emmert around. And now Petrov joins back in. So taking the smooth approach to just stay out of trouble there. You don't have to do that in oval racing, but sometimes if you just don't want to be in the issue, it's a go. Al Corey with a big save there.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things I've seen ever, to be blatantly honest, because you normally want to stay in front of the people who are a lap down just so you can get the lucky dog and wave around on the next one. So, yeah, a bit of a strange one for Petrov, unless, of course, they're hoping that we don't get another one. The car's fairly spread out at the moment as well. Bring the track map up in the top right-hand corner for you to have a look at, and you can see who is and where. There you go. See, they're coming past the try. The last curl's coming out of turn 4. And that last one is Mr. Brad Petrov in 19th place. Corey tucked in the middle. Weeder's there as well. There was almost a little bit of a nose rub from Al Corey. Weeder in the 6th car in front. The bright Harvaline blue-red liveried machine. Harmon and Barbary just swapping places as well. Looks like Barbary's up on the high side. Harmon's down on the low. He's been running that bottom line now, Brad. He's not really coming off it. He's hugged the yellow line on the inside like his favourite grandma.
He really has, and it's worked very, very well for Matt Harmon. You see it's got him up into 4th place. It's about to get him up into 3rd place once he can work his way around this inside of Mike Weida, who pit last on lap 57. Has done 1 pit stop and no more. Said, I'm okay with just the one, and I think we're going to start seeing Mike Weida drop back. There's Crest following through. There's Harmon, Harcum. Apologies, with a big old steam of speed in the background there coming through. And now Harmon is going to clear. Watch out, Corey here. 0.4 of a second back on Chad Bear. 24 to go. We're officially in countdown mode to the end of this race. So we'll see things move through. There's Harcum, who is going to be bringing that Slaughter Racing Designs car around the high line here. And you don't usually see the high line run that fast, but when you've got a big old tire discrepancy of 25 laps, you will see that move through. Elton Wu following around right behind it as well. And Mr. Ricky Barbary is just dropping.
Yeah, he's another one that didn't go in on 84, though. That's the thing. Corey did. Harmon did. Crest did. Bear did. So those guys are on fresher tyres, of course. And then we've got the ones who have not pitted. That would be Mike Weida. Harcum pitted. Wu didn't pit. Barbary didn't pit. Coop didn't pit. James Durr is the next one to start making his way up through the field over on them guys. So it could be very, very interesting here to see what goes on in the next 22 laps.
Yeah, and as we continue to watch this here, I think the other thing that's interesting to me is I think Chad Bear might have burnt his tires out a little early in this race. I think Chad Bear might have just given it a bit too much of the beans early on to get up to first, and he's not going to have anything to defend with here, because look at Al Corey all over the back here with Harmon right behind for company. And then you go back, Brad Kress has also been fast all night. He's going to be looking. This is that tire conservation game we talked about, James, where you've got to make sure you saved enough to the end. And, well, as I say that, Chad Bear opens it up to 1/4 of a second here. Look at Harmon and Kress side by side, though, and Kress should clear Harmon on the inside, just barely. Harmon a little wiggle, and that will let Kress have third. And we'll see if Corey can turn the pressure on, or if he's going to have to start focusing behind the Kress.
Yeah. I don't know. Corey's looking quite comfortable at the moment. I'm quite surprised, to be blatantly honest, on that one. But Al Corey is looking quite comfortable where he is with 20 to go. I'm wondering if he's going to be up and trying to have a go at Chad Bear towards as he get into that bottle end, that business end below the 10, isn't it? That's where we kind of really get a spark up here. And now Corey looks like he's got a little bit of a head of steam. Is he going to be able to hold that head of steam right up until Chad Bear, though?
I would think he can. He's doing really well on corner exit. He's losing a little bit on entry, but corner exit is really where he's been closing that gap in. And he's getting a good exit off of 2, a good exit off of 4 every time. And it's helping him just stay right there. But the thing is, I think Al is still trying to save a little bit of tires. I do think once we hit about 10 to go, Al will just, turn the pressure up to 11, and it'll be a case of do or die for him there as we get near the end. This is where the drivers start to get a little antsy. They know what is possible. They know what's left in the car, and they know what they're looking at. And if you're Al Corey, you're looking for a win right now. So they'll be willing to take a little bit more of a risk as they get near the end.
Yeah. Chad Bear leading the field. Al Corey sitting in second. Is he going to be able to stay with him? That's going to be the question for Al Corey. Can he stay with Chad Bear? Can he stay in front of Crest? Can he stay with Harmon if he does end up losing this position? 17 to go now for Mr. Corey. We're literally going to find out in a few, probably in about 5-10 minutes time, who's going to come out the winner. You see the speed on the bottom through that tri-oval, topping north of 175 just. And then a big lift down to 128, 130 mile an hour for Chad Bear. Al Corey's lost a little bit of time around that corner coming into turn 3, the left-hander. Al still nestled in there. He still gives himself a shot. And as long as you're on the racetrack and you've given yourself a chance, you're in it.
Yeah, I think for Al, the big goal right now is just to stay within a stone's throw. It's to stay right there in the mix, not overdrive the car and lose the tires. Because if you look up in that rear view mirror in the top right, you can just barely see the top of Brad Kress's car. He's right on the back of Al. So if Al makes any sort of an error here, Brad Kress and even Matt Harmon are just going to be gone and around. They're going to say adios, sayonara, see you very much, and thank you for the free places. And then all of a sudden, Al Corey is in 4th place. So for Al, it's just smooth and consistency here. Let Chad Bear run the tires off of his car. Let Chad Bear overdrive it, and let this race come to you as we have 14 laps to go here. I do want to look a little bit further back as we go here, because there's a good battle sort of developing right here in this midfield with Barbary, Emmert, and a couple of these other drivers that have just not stopped being side by side for a considerable gap of time. But as soon as I say that, look at this. This is Kress getting a run on Corey. Corey trying to defend, and this is what I was worried about.
Yeah, he might be all right. He might be all right. He's a wily old fox, is Al Corey. He's not, you know, he's not no young gun on this. He's a wily old one. So let's see what he's able to do here. Whether or not he's going to be chucking blocks up all over the place. Is that car going to become an NFL linebacker? That will be the question. Go on, chuck him up, chuck him up. There you go. Now you got to do it again on the next exit. Drift him up. His momentum, Brad. And there ain't anywhere he's going to be able to go as long as you can cover him off quick enough on that inside line.
Yeah, and you see Brad Kress
He's
looking
got to come down. Yeah. You got to come down.
Side by side. I think Al's going to have the run off the corner, though, if he can get it. He's right there. He's right there going into 1 and 2. This is going to be where it's at. If Al can find a run off the corner to hold on, I don't think he will, but he is going to be right there at the fender, and they come through. Al's still right there in the mix. He's not giving up easy. They are letting Chad Bear get away by over a second now, but he's not giving up easy.
No, he can't afford to either. He's got to decide what he wants to be, right? He's either going to be an American XL bully, or he's going to be a dash down and rolls over and gets his belly tickled. So I'm hoping it's the first one for Al. He's gonna put the bark in as we end up in a caution.
Well, that is what I like to call a lifeline to Al Corey, is what that one is, and that is a beautiful nightmare for Chad Bear. And if you're wondering what started this, it is our friend here, Ricky Barbary. Let's see what Ricky got into. Well, that's Naj on the inside, and well, that's what he got into. On him.
Yeah, Barbary was well on his way down there. Over Naj. On that one, I'm just going to do something really quick. Can you put me on Al Corey a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is he? Okay. We're going to have a quick chat with the number 45 machine as well. I've just got one question, Al. Are you an American XL bully, or are you a dash hound who rolls over and gets his belly tickled?
I've never been asked that question before. I don't know how to answer it.
Okay. So the easy way is then, Al, are you going to put bark in your driving, and are you going to go and take it and take the win? You've been up there all race long, or are you going to sit back and settle for the third place you got?
Do you want the inside scoop?
Of course.
I will be very lucky to finish in the top 10. I have no tires left. And there are a ton of guys behind me who are going to pit for tires, and they're going to blow by me. So you mark my words, if I get a top 10, I'll be very lucky.
Well, turn your car into a linebacker, mate. Chuck them blocks up.
Yep, I'm going to do what I can, but yeah, I'm sunk. I needed that to go green. I think I would have had a third place if it had gone green.
Well, good luck, buddy. Enjoy the rest of it, and let's see what you can do.
Great to hear from you. Thanks.
Take care. He was a bit confused by my question.
I thought it was a fairly clear question, and I'm not British.
I thought it was as well. Yeah, I thought it was as well. But clearly, it seemed a little bit confused by the question there as well. It's going to be interesting now, because effectively, Mike Weeder could put himself in a position to get the win. 4 rows back, sitting in 8th, just changed for tyres.
This is... You know, I said that this was a nightmare for Chad Bear. I think if you're in the top 8, this is a nightmare at this point. Mike Weedham, 5 laps, send it around the field on fresh tires when we know the tire drop-off is substantial. This... You know, Al brought up a point that I hadn't even thought about. And now that I'm thinking about it, the worse it looks for a lot of these guys.
Yep. We're getting told to go and get in position. He's a little bit out. 2, 4, 6, 7. That's where you want to be. Tucked in. Burrows is in front. He's got nothing left. Woo behind Campbell. If JC gets a bit between his teeth. Let's see that Australian kangaroo get on there.
Wouldn't be the first time we've seen it.
Nope. Let's see how he goes. We're going to go 7, probably go green with 6 to go. And then it's anybody's game, Brad. Anybody game from, I think, Mike Weeder downwards, to be honest.
This is going to be a very, very interesting way to finish this race. I love it because these guys always bring fireworks, and they are managing to do just that here. Chad Bear, I was worried he was overdriving the car there and trying to keep things going. He had pulled out a 1-second gap, and now if he was overdriving in any way, it's going to be absolutely apparent. It's going to be obvious in ways that I can't explain here, and it looks like we have the lights off on the pace car. We are 1 to green. 4th caution on the night here, James. I think you said 4 cautions.
I did.
So we'll see if you were spot on. How are you always spot on? Who do you pay off?
I'm just lucky, I think. I don't know. See what happens. I did say 4-5. Not that you can get 4.5, but well, I suppose technically we could have had Texas half at the beginning of this one. Now, the interesting thing is, what start is Weeder going to get, and how badly are they going to spin up in front of him?
I think Weeder is...
Weeder's in prime position. Weeder is in prime.
I think once we get past the start-finish line, a lot of the focus is going to have to be on Weeder and seeing where Mike Weeder can take that car. We're coming off here. Barney's got the green flag. And James, it is going to be 6 to go here. Let's see how this ends.
Gonna find out in the next 118 seconds. It's green, green, green. Bear had to bolt. He knew that already. Weeder's already jumped Burrows. He's now got Harkham in front of him for Weeder. There he goes. Just go up high. Oh, he's giving him the inside line on the 05. Say goodbye to James Durr. Here's another one's going to be gone very, very shortly. Weeder, this is where Weeder's pace is going to be quick. Up high. This is where he's going to be quick. Every corner entry that Weeder goes into, he's got another 16 corners to go. He is going to be able to hang that car out. There you go, straight past Harmon. He's going to duck into Corey coming out of 2, sorry.
And Corey's just got to let him go here. Corey...
Oh, he's got nothing. Dude, yeah. He's got nothing. It is like putting Mike Tyson in the ring against a female boxer. Well, against a female boxer, it's nothing. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do. JC's in a great position. Nodge is... Oh, no! Keep going. Oh, no, now they get it.
And look where Weeder had worked himself up to in 2 corners there while we were watching that. Look at where he had worked himself up to.
I tell you what,
and we're
Chad Bear is not going to be loving this whatsoever. He cannot be sat back now, sitting there thinking, I've got this, because nobody has got any tyres left. Nobody would have had any fast repairs left. This is Burrows arriving on the scene quite late, though. The 05 comes down. There's James Dirt into Burrows, into the 78. The 78 comes down as well. Nodges. Pick up on Nodges damage. That's why he's going so slow. Because he gets rifled in a minute. Watch this. Somebody did slow down for the yellow flag.
Yeah, that
Petrov
is
there in the 057.
And then something else happens here well after the fact on Petrov, and he stops, and then Harkham just absolutely slams him in the back. I don't know what that was about. And I think they're still wrecking here. This is Naj after the fact. It says Naj and Harkham had a little bit of a moment here. Not sure what might have happened with them, or if it's just registered the fact that he was going very, very slow.
Yeah. Weeder. If Mike Weeder does not win this, I will be very surprised. He's got to use every single bit of corner entry that he's got here to make this work. Because it would be crazy if he pitted 6 laps ago. He's done 6 laps under caution or on 118. And he's only got 3 to go. It's going to be, yeah. No, 98, not again. Yep. Poor Howie in the wall. He's still out on track, but how much pace he's got, unfortunately, Riak, I can't really answer that question.
Well, let's look at his damage. The front end's a little crinkled. The back end's a little crinkled. You could beat that out with a sledgehammer. He might. Nah. He has no pace at all. Let's be honest with ourselves. No pace at all in that.
No.
He's running for finishing position is what this is. Because he is the last car on the lead lap.
He is just for Howie on that one. Right. Are we lining up this time around? It's possible. Nope. There's going to be one more. You watch Bear jump. He will wait until he touches the blue, just touches the blue, and then he'll bolt. Because he knows he has to.
And this is a green-white checkered finish, too. Look at the problems that are going to come out of green-white checkered. We get the green, and then if we get the white flag and the leader takes the white flag, next flag is it. So this is going to be a feisty run from Mike Weida. And here's the thing. I don't think Mike Weida is the only one. I think if our friend Mr. Krispy Kreme John Campbell can get enough of a run, I think JC could find himself up into the top 3 around Cress and Corey. Or maybe Corey will turn into a linebacker. We'll see what Al Corey decides to do here.
I think for Corey, he's got a decision to make. He's got a decision to make now. It's whether or not he's going to take what he's got or try and take more. Now, if you're anything like my wife, you take as much as you can get.
I think Corey might hit. I think I said earlier that I thought there was a lifeline handed out to Al when I didn't realize he didn't have tires left. I think this is Al Corey potentially getting his top 3 if he can hold on to it, and if JC doesn't get a good run. That is the question.
Problem with JC is Brad Cress is in front of him. Now, straight at the start, JC should be able to clear Cress. And I'll say that because Cress will spin up on tyres that are on, he's on 84, we're on 117, 94, 104, probably 25 lap old tyres, give or take. So JC's got to make a gap big enough that he's got to get straight onto the high line. Because these guys cannot run the high line if their tyres are already going. And they know it as well. Here we go. You've got to go, Mike. Watch that checkered. Watch the blue on the bottom there for Chad Bear.
Oh.
Not sure why or what that restart was about.
Oh!
Caution, yellow flag.
He kind of caused that for himself.
I have
I
no
don't
words.
get that.
I have
I
no
don't get
words.
that. I do not get that restart at all. He could have just pulled away like normal. I don't get why he slowed up to try and get in behind him. I go on board with him there, Brad, in the cockpit on that start.
Absolutely. That's... Did he miss a shift?
Go on
Well,
board with Weeder if we can. We're one back, aren't we?
Yeah, that was with Al. Let's go with Weeda here, and
Go with Weeder and then reverse it.
here we go. We're doing some live TV.
Don't play it from there.
He missed a shift.
No, he didn't. The problem is they were already leaning on each other when they were coming over the line. I don't get that's third he's in. Fourth.
And then just chop. But this is, I think he was trying to, because right there the revs drop really hard. I think he was trying to guess where Chad Bear was going to go, and I think he just mishit a shift. Because he was revving, and I think he accidentally grabbed the wrong gear.
We won for the ages, I think, on that one. Only Mike will know what he was trying to do. On my eyes, it looked like he backed off and tried to nestle in behind him, or when really, with the tyre difference, he should have just been gone.
That should have been a slam dunk win for him. That is.
Yeah.
And then Al got caught up in that too. I know we didn't really get beyond the wreck here, but if you watch here.
He's on the outside, he's sandwiched. He's nowhere. Al's got nowhere to go. Bonnet's off.
Man, several guys got caught up in that.
You misses. We're going to put my money on JC now. If JC can get away, he should have this in the bag.
He should.
Should.
Although you never know.
He's got to tuck up. He's got to tuck up. Sorry for cutting you off there, but he's got to tuck up behind Bear as much as he can do. Even if he pushes Bear a little bit to get him moving, for JC, he's just got to be right underneath him.
He absolutely does. And are we single file restarting this? We are single file restarting with 3 to go. Green, white, checkered, single file restart here, James.
JC, you got to get tucked up. That is a really pokey flag position.
It absolutely is. Let's change cameras
He's
here.
in.
And look at the gap.
Yeah, but he's got this one and one more. He's got to run it in deep. He's got to just use what he's got now. There's nothing. Look, that's the closest speed he's going to have. He's got to use what he's got. Barbara's coming in behind him more than JC's going to be going forward. But there's Chad Bear, 2 to go. This is where they've got to go. They've got to go. You've got to just go breeze past him. Under you go. You've got one to go. Chad Bear out in front. How long? Oh, Oh, JC, whoa.
Oh, look at Barbary coming up out of nowhere with Woo.
This is it now. We think it's going to be Chad Bear. Chad Bear looks like he's going to come over the line. He's going to take that victory here at Nashville. He does. JC grabs second. Barbary gets third. Great run by Chad Bear. And we've got somebody off the side of the circuit. And Ward Fisher's gone round.
And I believe Michael Seymour. No, Michael Seymour did not get caught up in that. But we'll check. Let's check what happened with Dorr here. Him and Fisher had a little bit of a ding dong, as you like to say, James. Oh, and then Ward got absolutely smacked.
Cockpit Ward. He rifles the wall and round he goes.
Man,
ouch.
Yeah, we'll look at Ward Fisher's perspective from cockpit really quick. Ooh.
Bad shift. Oh, Mike. That was yours to win, bud. That was yours to win. All day, baby. All day. Tyler Wellers, you want to reach out to Tex Nichols and say sorry for running you over on lap 5 or 6 or whatever it was right at the beginning of the race. I appreciate you survived, though. Fair play to you. But yeah, you might want to get on the old blower and give old Tex a bit of love. You took him out on his birthday. How rude. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll pick up on starting with Mr. JC John Campbell, pitted on lap 112. I thought he might have had an opportunity for the win. Let's see what he thinks. JC, welcome in, bud.
Howdy, guys. How's things?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Excited. Happy. I've never passed Chad Bear in my life, and that was the big chance, but I blew it.
What happened?
I just lacked talent, but I had fresh tyres as opposed to everyone else. Even Chad had oldies on, and I thought, 2 more laps and I'd get him. But, yeah, I can't drive off the corners as well as he does.
Yeah, do you think the start helped? The start didn't help you because you did miss it a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I don't know how. I was watching for his car to move, and I slammed the accelerator down as hard, and didn't spin him, but it still got 3 cars lengths out in front of me. So I don't know what happened there, but I was probably asleep.
Yeah, but listen, not a bad one. Not a bad one at all, mate. That was good. I almost thought you were going to get it on that one, JC, but so close, but yet so far, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, mate?
No, look, it was all a good race. The first long stint was brilliant. Everyone's setting up their strategies. So just a shout out to all the guys who did a great job. Thanks, guys.
Awesome job, JC. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Why can't I get you? Blimey. Have I just put... Yeah, I have. Right, next up in the booth is your third place man, Mr. Ricky Barbary. Ricky, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Ooh, that was a drive right there, but we got it done.
Yeah, you did. Took third place there, mate. Coming up like a bat out of hell over the last green-white checkered.
Yeah, I know it was going to get crazy there at the end, and it was just kind of boys have at it. So, had to drop the hammer on the gas pedal and drive up through the field, and got third. Was hoping for more, but hey, I'll take third.
Hey, listen, dude, it's a podium, isn't it? It's points. That's all that matters, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yes, it is.
Especially here, buddy. You know what I mean? Especially here as well. Do you like Nashville?
It's a really difficult track. Definitely a track you got to practice at. The concrete really makes it, different from the other tracks. But it's like Martinsville, but just on steroids, I feel like. But
yeah, let me ask you a question. Would you class it as a super speedway?
I mean, it sure felt like it driving, but as far as the racing, I mean, I couldn't tell you that. But as far as being behind the wheel, it sure felt like that as far as the action and all that we had tonight. So
All right, man. Well, listen, Ricky, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out my team, old guys, Grayson, James, for being in the Discord with me and everyone watching, and my family and all that. And looking forward to getting some wins over the next couple races. So big thanks to you guys for broadcasting and Al for the league, and just excited to get back out there and try it again next time.
Take care, Ricky, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Right. Why does it keep clicking the name for like 3 times? Right. Next up on the list is your winner, Mr. Chad Bear. He, as sitting ducks could go, he was a sitting duck there with Weeder closing in on him right before Weeder then went and got himself involved in a caution. But let's ask him, was he as lucky as he looked? Or was it just pure talent? Chad, welcome in, bud.
Appreciate it. I can guarantee you that had nothing to do with talent. That was all luck, man. Drove terrible all night. Couldn't save the right front as good as Mark Herzog and Brad. They had me covered on the long runs, and then on the wrong strategy at the end of it, just completely wasted one set of tires, and all hell broke loose on that one restart, and just happened to come out on the right end of it.
I tell you what, though, if that restart hadn't happened, I don't know if you would have survived, Chad.
Oh, no, definitely not. He had me.
Yeah, Weeder had your number. He had you bent over a barrel and sat there with an axe ready to terminate you on that one, mate, because he was coming so quick as well. But listen, dude, as well, how was it out there at Nashville? You know what I mean? We say about strategy and how important it was to get the strategy right. You say you missed it tonight. What would you have done differently?
Well, I pitted, we pitted on right around lap 60, and then we might have ran 15 or so laps, or maybe 10 or 15 laps. I can't remember now, but pitted again, just because typically in this league, everybody's so good and clean. It usually stays green, so I was thinking we pit right there and go all the way to the end on that set of tires, but we just kept having cautions, so had to pit again about 20 laps after that. So that's where I wasted that set of tires. Like if I could have went back, I just wouldn't have pit the second time, and then at the end of the race when Weeda pitted, then I could have pit with him. But me and Al and Brad Kress, we were all on the same strategy. We were all out of tires. So, but you just never know how it's going to fall with the cautions and stuff. Like I said, usually these guys are green, maybe one caution, but man, it was wild tonight.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, bud. Lots of going on. I think people underestimated the drop off on the tyre slide. So when there was a lot of across the front nose as people were sliding up the field, up the racetrack as well. Going forward for you, though, let's end on a high. Chad, you took the win. You did it well. What are you going to predict when you go into the next one?
I don't know. Hopefully not that much mayhem and carnage. Hopefully it's a little calmer. But I don't know. These guys, they'll bounce back, and we'll probably run the next one completely green. I have all the faith in the world in them. They're a good bunch of guys to race with, and I don't know, man. It was wild tonight. That was one of the wildest ones I've been a part of.
Yeah, it definitely was, dude. There ain't a shadow of a doubt on that one. Listen, Chad, thanks for joining us. Bud, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
I just shout out to everybody in the league, man. All the admins, everybody's top notch, man. 5 stars. Would recommend. Happy birthday to the series sponsor, Tex, and man, that's it. Appreciate y'all broadcasting it.
Man, well, listen, you have a good one, bud. We'll look forward to seeing how you get on Richmond. Take care, Chad.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
And you, man. Right, there you go. That was the winners, the top 3 on the podium. They all seemed quite happy, Brad. Nobody seemed any sort of real drama and dramatics. Obviously, they were all happy. And Ricky Barbary pleased about his third. JC said he ran out of talent. Chad Bear said he barely survived if that last caution hadn't come out, with Weeder flying on in him as well. All in all, not a bad night.
Yeah, I think Chad summed that up perfectly. This was one of the more wild nights we see in triple bypass, with, more cautions than the guys traditionally have, but overall still hard competitive racing. And in the end, it all came down to a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and everyone still had fun in the end. No hard feelings, nobody's upset when we leave, and hey, that's the goal of a fun race.
Yeah, absolutely right, guys. We're going to wrap it up now as well. Thank you so much for joining us here for what has been a very wild race. But I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Bradley Dalton, and as always, take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.